He locked eyes with me from behind his pristine oak desk, his voice coated in faux kindness. "We don't keep people who underperform," he said, each word deliberately dismissive. I didn't flinch. I simply nodded. "Understood." He smirked, the kind of smug expression only someone who'd never struggled could wear. He thought that would be the end of it, that I'd walk away humiliated. But I didn't come here for a job. And his words didn't bruise, they ignited something. It wasn't the rejection. It was the way he said failure, like it was a stain on my existence, like I was some stray scratching at the doors of his glass tower. I left quietly, but never empty-handed. His name was Kareem, my wife's brother, my closest friend once. Back in college, he had no place to stay. He slept on my couch, clung to pride while his wallet stayed empty. I got him through exams, sharpened his resume, even helped polish his first pitch. He used to call me his mirror, said I reminded him of the man he wanted to become. But mirrors remember. He cried at my wedding to his sister, toasted to our future. And when my company collapsed after a hostile takeover 3 years ago, he disappeared. No texts, no calls, no solidarity, just absence. When I reached out, he stayed silent. And then months later, he summoned me here, only to humiliate me. That smirk had been there for years, hadn't it? At family dinners, when my name came up, his lips would twitch with something close to glee. He'd undercut every success, called my startup's first investment a stroke of luck. When it failed, he called it inevitable. What I thought was brotherhood was just veiled resentment. Jealousy doesn't yell. It simmers. Then it strikes. I couldn't sleep that night. I stared at the ceiling, thinking about the years I had stood by him, helped him climb. And then I began to plan. Not revenge, not then. Just clarity. I started with his company. I still had contacts on the board. 2 members owed me from my investing days. Over quiet lunches and polite conversations, I let things slip, about stagnant figures, outdated practices. Their curiosity grew. So I dug deeper. I hired a forensic accountant. Not to catch him stealing, though that would have been poetic, but to expose how badly the place was run. Bloated contracts. Wasteful spending. Sloppy oversight. I compiled it all into a report. Next, I read through the company charter. A 2/3 board vote could replace the CEO. A stretch, unless you know where to press. One board member had a son tangled in a hush-hush bribery case. I discovered it a year ago and filed it away, just in case. One call was enough. The second vote came easier. A promise of funding for his new venture sealed the deal. 3 weeks. That's all it took. Strategic whispers, quiet alliances, well-placed reminders. Last night the board voted. Unanimously. This morning, Kareem walked in like royalty. Confident, sharp suit, smug expression intact. But the receptionist didn't mirror his smile. His assistant wouldn't meet his eyes. "The new CEO wants to see you," she said, voice tight. He laughed. "My brother-in-law?" There was no answer. He entered, expecting a joke, but stopped cold when he saw me at his desk. Hands folded, wedding ring glinting in the light. "You're in my chair," he said. "No," I replied. "You were in mine." He blinked, confused. "What is this?" I slid a folder across the desk. "The board has concerns. I've been asked to resolve them." He flipped through the documents. Evidence of mismanagement, staggering turnover, missed targets, voting records. His hands trembled. "You planned this," he hissed. I tilted my head. "No. I just helped them see what they refused to admit." He leaned in. "You think this makes you better than me?" I rose to my feet. "I don't think. I know." He looked around, at the view, the walls, the company he hadn't earned. And it hit him. This wasn't revenge. It was correction. Security waited at the door. He didn't argue. He walked out the same way I had weeks ago, quiet, broken, alone. No one nodded in understanding. Later, as the sun dipped behind the skyline, I stood alone in that office. My phone rang. My wife. She didn't ask questions. "I warned him," she said. "I know. I'm proud of you." I didn't answer right away. I stared out at the city, at the company he once ruled. He mistook my silence for surrender, my calm for failure. But I've always played the long game. Because the sharpest moves are made in silence. And some victories are whispered behind closed doors.